हे एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो जैसा कि आप लोगों ने मेरा पिछला वीडियोस देखा था, हमने पांडा जो स्टार्ट किया था और उसमें फर्स्ट चैप्टर हमने पढ़ा था सीरीज के बारे में कि सीरीज क्या होता है, सीरीज क्रिएट कैसे करते हैं और इसका क्या बेनिफिट्स है। और सीरीज मैंने बताया था कि ये 1D एरे है। उसके बाद मैंने बताया था आपको कि उसमें पांडास में दो मेन डेटा स्ट्रक्चर है, वन इज सीरीज एंड द सेकंड इज डेटा फ्रेम। तो सीरीज 1D एरे है और पांडास जो है वो 2D एरे है और इट्स लाइक अ टेबल। ओके, तो आज हम लोग पांडास के डेटा फ्रेम के बारे में बात करने वाले हैं। चलो, तो मैं सीधा आपको अपने लैपटॉप के स्क्रीन पे लेके चलता हूँ और वहीं सारी चीजें हम लोग बात करने वाले हैं। चलिए, सो लेट्स से हियर वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट द डेटा फ्रेम। ओके, सो दिस इज नॉट अ PySpark data frame, as I told you in my previous video as well. This is a Pandas data frame. What is a data frame? First, tell me. In previous video, I mentioned like this is a 2D array, and you can consider it's like a table as well, like a table, or you can say the spreadsheet, Excel sheet. You can consider that. Okay, so this is the exactly look like that, which will gives us the rows and the columns. Table always have the rows and columns, right? Rows and column. This is the speciality of the data frame. Okay, so let me show you how to create the data frame. What are all the things that you can perform on the data frames? How you can read the CSV file by using the data frame? How you can fetch the API as well by using the data frame. Okay, we are not going to hit the real API. I will tell you how to read the data by using the API link. Basically, I have created one Excel sheet. There I have put some data and that file I have uploaded in my GitHub account. So from there you can directly you can read that. Okay, I will tell you how to do that. Okay, so let me go on my Google Colab. As I told you how to create the Google Colab account and how to create the notebook in my previous video, I have shown you, so you can refer those things, because the same thing I will tell you in every video that will waste the time and the video will go long every video. So it's better to watch the first videos so you will familiar more of the things and you can move forward by using the reference of the previous videos. Okay, so let's go on our Google Colab. Okay, so this is our Google Colab account. Let me give the notebook name here. So we are reading here the data frame. We are learning the data frame here, right? So data frame. Okay, so first let me show you to import the pandas. Import pandas as PD. Okay, now let me run it. Okay, now to create the data frame, there is two method basically. So first let me show you the first one. Let me add a markdown cell here first. Now I will tell method one to create a data frame by using a dictionary. So how to create the data frame by using the dictionary? Let's say first create a data, prepare a data basically. Let's say we have name and we have multiple names we want to store it. Okay, so let's say Alice, let's say Bob, Charlie, and yeah, David. This is our name. And let's say after that we have age. Okay, and age will be like, let's say 25, 30, 35, 28. And let's say city will be New York, San Francisco. Let's say London. We have total four values, right? So we have to give one more. Let's say Tokyo. Okay. Name is city. Let me take one more, which will be salary. So let's say 75,000, 85,000, 90,000, 70,000. Okay, 79,000. Okay, fine. This is the data that we have defined. What we have done, we have created one variable and we have four you can say the columns, which is name, age, city, and salary, and multiple values are there. So first we have created a dictionary. Inside that we have created our keys, which is a name, age, city, salary, and the values. Values is a array, and inside the array we can store the multiple values, right? So that's why we have created a array to store a multiple values here. Okay, now to create a data frame, let's say df equal to pd dot data frame. So it will create your data frame, and whatever you have define your data, you just pass it here inside that data frame, and now you can print, let's say df. Let's see what it will give. Yeah, perfect. So here you can see the name is city salary, and whatever we have given the value, it is showing that. And it is also assigning a index value that we have learned in our previous videos, that it assigned a index to every rows. Okay, this is the by default index. If you want to create a custom index for that, you can create as well. Okay, so this is the first method that you can create a data frame, pandas data frame. Okay, now let's move to the second way. Method 2 will be, we can create a data frame by using from a list of list. I think so. Yeah, from a list of list. Okay, so let me show you how we can do that, and let me close it first. So here, so we have already given the df here, so we'll give here the df2. Okay, and we'll write here the pd dot data frame, and we can directly pass the values here. Alice, which is 25, say Bob 30. Okay, so these two values we have, and let's say the column name. Columns will be name and age. Now print df2. Okay, invalid syntax. Okay, we have missed the comma here. Yeah, fine. So yeah, here you can see the second method we can create by using the list of list. So you can see pd.dataFrame, we have created a data frame here. Inside that we have this one one list, this one a second list. Okay, that's why we were talking about the data frame is the 2D array. This is the one array, this is the second array. Okay, so here you can see that first we have defined the name and we have given the age in one array. In the second array we have given the other values. So like in which case we have to create by using the dictionary, and in which case we have to create by using the list of list method. So let's say if you have to create the 50 of the values of any, let's say any details, like let's say you have to store the user details and there are 50 or the 100 users. So obviously you will go by using the dictionary, because you will not create a 100 array one by one here, and that will also be taken a long time. So in that case you can go by using the dictionary method. Okay, and in case if you have like the 5 to 10 data, so you can go with this one, the list of list method. Okay, it totally depends on the requirement, it totally depends on the time saving. Okay, there is no wrong or correct way. Whatever you feel, you can go with that. Some of the properties of these things are there, so let me show you some of the properties. One is shape. So let me show you df dot shape. So it will give 4. Why? Because there are 4 columns, and in every column there are 4 values. Okay, so it will give the rows and column. It will give number of rows and columns. Second one is we have only columns, df dot column. So these are the columns that we have to present, and you can see the data type as well, as this is the columns which is presenting as the object data type. That is fine. Print, let's say if you want to check the data frames, df dot type, error data frame dot types. Okay, fine. D types. Yeah, so you can see that every column data types, name is object, age is int 64, city is object, salary is int 64. So basically if you are learning the pandas data frame, so here that is nothing called the string. Here if you have the string, then you can see the object data type here. Okay, next we have the index. You have already seen that, but let me show you here as well. Df dot index. Okay, so here you can see the index range. Here you can see 0 to 4, means like it is starting from the 0 index and it is stopping at the 4. Okay, step 1 means like the n minus 1, so it is not skipping any rows. And if you see here the step equal to 2, so it means like it is skipping the one value here. So if you have seen my Python playlist, so in the list you can see these things here. Okay, so these are the properties of the data frame that you can see there. Let me add it here, one markdown, so you can note it, data frame properties. Okay, fine. Now let's move forward. Now in the real world, if you work on the different things, let's say if you will work on some industries, there you will get the data in any database, or you will get the data in some storage, cloud storage, that you have to read that. Let's say if you are getting, you guys are familiar with the cloud, so in AWS we have the S3, which is a storage that we have a store our file in the CSV format or any other format as well. And in Azure we have the ADLS Gen 2 or the blob storage. There we store our files in the CSV and other formats as well. So let's say if you are working in an industry and the client is putting their file in the storage, cloud storage, whether it is AWS or Azure, it doesn't matter. You can read from anywhere. Okay. So since we are not using the cloud here, so the process will be same. You have to how to read the file. Just you need to know that by using the pandas. Okay. So client is putting their CSV file in the storage, cloud storage, and you have to read that, because while without reading, you cannot perform any analysis or you cannot perform any data manipulation kind of things. Okay. So first you have to read that file, then you have to perform the analysis and the data manipulation. You can do that as per the requirements. Okay, so let's say we have some data in the CSV. Okay, let me show you. I have created one files, CSV files here. So here you can see this is the user details Excel sheet, and there are basically 5 columns, which is the user ID, name, salary, mobile number, address. Okay, and we have the 6 values in every rows. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this file I have downloaded it. How you can download? You can just go to the file and you can hover the download, and you can download as a comma separated value CSV. Okay, you can download is as XLX format as well. You can read this format as well by using the pandas. There is no issue on that. But as per the industry level, in most of the cases, you will get the file in the CSV format. So I have downloaded it in the CSV format. Okay, you can also download it, or I will give you the file. No worries on that. So you can practice over that. Let me write it here. Reading the file. Okay, so you can download that file. After downloading, you can just click on this folder icon here. Here you can see that, and here you can see some of the sample data which is directly provided by the Google. This is the environment features, but we are not going to use these files. If you want, you can use that, no issue on that, but I will upload my files which is created by me, user details. So how we can upload it here? Just click there, the upload button here, and you can select from your desktop wherever you have downloaded that. So I will select here and I will say open. So here you can see the user details file is came here. If you want, you can rename that, and let me rename it here as well. I will just remove that sheet 1. Okay, so this is our user details.csv file. Okay, how you can read that? Let me close it first. First, you have to read that file. Okay. Okay, so to read the file, how you can read that? Df equal to pd dot read csv. Okay, if you are reading the JSON, here it will be read JSON. Okay, so in this format, you can use that. Or if you are reading the XLX format, so you can write here read underscore Excel. Okay, but since we have the CSV, so I will use read underscore CSV here. What is the file name? So directly we cannot put the file name here, right? Because we have to give the full path of this file. So to get the full path, you just hover your cursor on your file, just click 3 icon, and you can click on the copy path. Okay, so you have copied your path, file path, and in the single quote you can give your path. Okay, now you can read this print df. See here, so whatever we have the data inside this sheet, all the data, it is getting printed here, and again by default it is creating the index. This is the nature of the pandas data frame and the series as well. Okay, if you want to create the custom index and assign to this your file, you can do that. This is the file by default things that you can directly read that. Now the second option, that you can provide some options there while reading the file. How you can do that? So let's say df equal to pd dot read csv. Okay, and here you can give the path. So let me copy the path from here. Okay, I have copied the path and I will say here separated with comma. Okay, header will be 0. 0 means false, 1 means true. Okay, so we are assigning the false. We'll give the index column, which will be in my case user ID. Okay, user ID. Then we have our user columns. Whatever we have the columns, we can provide here, right? So let's say we have the name. If we have the multiple columns, how to give that inside the array, right? So name we have salary. If you don't want all the columns, you can keep here whatever you want the columns here. Let's say if you don't want all the columns, you want just 3 columns, so just keep here 3 columns. But I will show you here all the columns, that how you can put that. Name, salary, then again here the mobile number, then address. Now you can read this file, print df. Let me give some other variables so it will not conflict from the upper df. So read csv got an unexpected arguments user calls. Where is that user calls? Okay, it's not user calls, it use calls. Use call means like these are the columns that we are using, that we want to use. Okay, index id user id invalid. Why? Because index id always keep in the form of by default it will take like 0 1 2 3. So again index id invalid. So I think if you have created the one more column here id, and that we have assigned your that you have assigned 0 1 2 3 4 kind of things, that it will take. Okay, so let me remove that, but you can use that if you have such kind of files. Okay, so yeah, here you can see by default it is giving the index here 0 1 2 3 4 5, so no need to assign that the index column here. But you, if you have, you can do that. No issue on that. So name, salary, mobile number, address. Here we have not taken the user id, so user id it is not printing here, right? But if you want, you can add that user id. Okay, now run it. Now let's see, user id is also came here. So this is the some options that you can give it here while reading the files. So let me give the heading here markdown, so you can refer it later. I will say here read with options. In the same way you can read the excel file xlx format. In the same way you can read the json format as well. In the same way you can read the sql table as well, but you have to make the connection from there. That is the thing. Okay, if you have the connection, you can read the table. Obviously you have to, like, there will be some different code for that, like mysql. If you are using mysql, then mysql.connect, and you will provide the local host and the host number. That things you have to provide that. But since we are not doing that, the sql db fetching data, not reading from the database. Okay, we are reading the file here. Okay, now how to read from the URL, or let's say the API. Let me give the markdown cell here, and I will say read the file from the URL or API. Okay, how to do that? Let's say, okay, so this file, okay, this file I have uploaded in my GitHub account. So if you will go to my GitHub account, this is my GitHub account, and if you want, you can follow me on the GitHub as well, and you will just click on the repositories, and you will see one pandas repository here. Just click there, and here you will see one file user details sheet 1. So you just click here, and you will see the same data here, right? So this URL you do not need to provide, right? Because this is the URL of your the repositories file, not your specific file URL. But if you want to get the specific file URL here, how to get that? Just click there, raw. So this is the data, and this is the URL you need. Okay, so just click there. Make sure you are just copy all the URL, including the https as well. Just copy it. Okay, and just go there and create one variable URL, and inside that pass your URL path. In the API, you also do the same way. In API, like there are some API that you are directly getting the data in the file format. in that case you can do the same way, right? Okay, so I will create here df3, let's say, and pd dot read csv. Okay, and we'll pass the url here, and instead of passing the url inside the here inside the double quote, you can pass the full url as well, but that is not a good practice. So that's why I have created one variable url and assigned the path, and this variable we are passing here, right? Okay, now print it, print df3. See here the same data that we are getting, right? So this is the way that you can create a data frame. You can read the file by using the data frame, pandas data frame. You can read the file by using the url or kind of the apis as well. Okay, so now we can see some exploration here.